See, this is a review problem from the Garrison book. Here is an income statement is given. Okay, a statement is given. See, okay, there is a law firm and they have a two segment. One is the family law and another is the commercial law. And here is the income statement data. See, revenue from client is 10 lakh, total 10 lakh. From family law, it is 4 lakh and commercial law, it is 6 lakh. Variable expense 2 lakh 20, which is family law is 1 lakh and commercial law is 1 lakh 20. Software deduction, that is the contribution margin 7 lakh 80, 3 lakh and 4 lakh 80. Then we'll deduct the traceable fixed expenses 6 lakh 70, that is 2 lakh 80 and 3 lakh 90. And after that, there is a segment margin 1 lakh 10,000, 20,000 and 90,000. 20,000 from family law and 90,000 from commercial law. But again, there is another thing, that is the common fixed expense. So before starting this math, I think you already know there is common fixed cost. It will be deducted from total income statement. It will not be deducted from the segmented income statement, from the segmented business segment. So here you see the common fixed expense, they deducted from family law and they deducted from the commercial law. And after that, they find that family law has a loss of 4,000 and commercial law has a profit of 54,000. And in total, they have a 50,000 net operating income. Now, other information is given here. See, what is the requirement? Okay. এখানে নিচে দিয়ে কি লেখা আছে দেখেন, however this report is not quite correct. The common fixed expense such as managing partner salary, general administrative expenses, general firm advertising have been allocated to a segment based on revenue from client. So this 60,000 taka, they made a mistake here. This is the 60,000 taka, this is the common fixed expense. They actually distributed on the basis of the revenue, on the basis of the revenue. Okay, so this is not quite correct. Okay, they cannot actually do it. It is not the actual base. It actually base now. Common fixed expense. It is common for both family law and the commercial law. We cannot separate it. So that's why we cannot actually allocate to these two departments. Allocate to these two segments. So that's why it is not quite correct. This statement is not correct. So now the requirement. See, requirement is what? Redo the segment report, eliminating the allocation of common fixed expense. So we have to redo the income statement as a whole, and especially you have to show the family law and the commercial law, and then you'll eliminate the allocation of the common fixed expense. So this allocation is not quite correct, so that's why you cannot allocate it. So you will directly deduct it from the total amount, but you will not allocate it. Then after that, would the firm be better off financially if the family law segment were dropped? Then you have to comment that if we drop family law, whether the company will be benefited or not. Okay, so যেহেতু আমরা এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে এখানে 4,000 টাকা লস, আমরা যদি এখান থেকে ই করি অর্থাৎ ফ্যামিলি ল, if we eliminate the family law, then will we benefited, আমরা কি বেনিফিটেড হব নাকি হব না? আর আমাদেরকে we have to comment that যে whether we will keep family law or whether we will eliminate family law. We have to take decision. Then after that, another requirement, that is the firm's advertising expense has dropped an ad campaign targeted at boosting the revenue of the family law segment. So another information is given regarding the family law. The ad campaign would cost 20,000 taka. Advertisement campaign. So for the family law, they will start an advertisement campaign, and that campaign will cost them 20,000 taka fixed, 20,000 taka fixed expense. And the advertising agency claimed that it would increase family law revenue by 1 lakh taka. And it is assumed that they will actually increase the revenue in total 1 lakh taka. 1 lakh taka revenue that are increase korbe. The managing partner of Frampton Davis and Smith believes this increase in business could be accommodated without any increase in fixed expense. Among their management, they think that this 20,000 taka will be the only fixed expense. There will be no other fixed expense. Estimate the effect of this ad campaign would have a family law segment margin and on the firm's overall net operating income. So we have to show whether there is any net operating income change in total and change in family law. Family law তে change হবে কিনা এবং in total এ change হবে কিনা আমাদের এটা show করতে হবে। Okay, so let's do it. আমরা তাহলে এই ম্যাথটা করি। দেখেন এক্সেল ফাইল। So the first column will be particulars. We'll write the company name. Company name to fix it. Specific company name. Yeah. So we'll write here as a law firm. Just write. So first column will be particulars. Next column is total. And next one is family law. Next the commercial. So we are doing requirement number 1, and this is your requirement number 1. সবাই তো স্ক্রিন দেখতে পাচ্ছেন তাই না?
জি স্যার।
তো আমরা তাহলে একটু দেখি যেটা হচ্ছে কোশ্চেনে আমাদের ইনফরমেশন ইজ গিভেন। ওকে, তো প্রথম দিকে তাদের ইনফরমেশনটা ঠিক আছে, লাস্টের দিকে জাস্ট আফটার নেট অপারেটিং ইনকাম বের করার আগে যে কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স যেটাকে তারা অ্যালোকেট করে দিয়েছে, উইল নট অ্যালোকেট দিস ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স। ওকে, তো এই 60,000 টাকা আমরা এদিকে অ্যালোকেট করব না, এই দুটাতে জাস্ট উইল ডিরেক্টলি ডিডাক্টেড ফ্রম দ্য টোটাল অ্যামাউন্ট। ওকে, দ্যাটস ইট, এটাই আমাদের করতে হবে অ্যাকচুয়ালি। Okay. So first of all, we'll write revenue from client from the question. Revenues from client. Okay. And here revenues from client is 10 lakh. Okay. So write here 10 lakh. And from the family law it is 4 lakh. And from commercial law it is 6 lakh. Okay. So revenues from client. Then we'll deduct the variable expense. Okay. Yes. variable expense. So here you see variable expense is given total 2,20,000, family law 1 lakh, and commercial law 1,20,000. So we deduct here 2,20,000, family law is 1 lakh, and commercial law it is 1,20,000. Okay, so after deduction we get contribution margin. Contribution margin. So here you see in total revenue from plant. Variable expense should be deducted from revenue from plant. Seven lakh 50. We have a 3 lakh and 4 lakh 80 for commercial. Okay, এটা আমরা directly question থেকে আমরা পেয়েছি. Directly got it from the question. Then again from the question you see. So that's our contribution margin. Now from the contribution margin we'll deduct the traceable fixed expense. That is in total 6 lakh 70. For family law it is 2 lakh 80. For commercial law it is 3 lakh 90. Okay. So deduct less traceable fixed expense. So the traceable fixed expense in total it is 6 lakh 17. For family law it is 2 lakh 80. For commercial law it is 3 lakh 90. Okay. So after that we call it as a margin. Okay. So the margin is C. In total it is 1 lakh 10. For the family law it is 20,000. And for the commercial law it is 90,000. Now traceable fixed cost is done. So you already know we'll only deduct traceable fixed expense from the segmented business segment. Business segment থেকে আমরা শুধু এটাই ম্যানেজ করব, ট্রেসেবল ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটাই ম্যানেজ করব। আমরা কিন্তু কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স যেটা সেটা কিন্তু মাইনাস করব না, সেটা কিন্তু আমরা ডিডাক্ট করব না। ওকে, ট্রেসেবল ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা কিন্তু আমরা ডিডাক্ট করব না। ক্লিয়ার? ট্রেসেবল ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা আমরা ডিডাক্ট করব, বাট কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা আমরা will not deduct it from the segment. So here you see common fixed expense 60,000 taka. So here you see we'll deduct less common fixed expense, and that is 60,000. Okay, and after deduction whatever we got we call it as a net operating income. Net operating. So net operating income, see, net operating income is 50,000. Okay, net operating income is 50,000. Now you see, we redo the income statement. Now we have to comments. We have to give comments on what? See, redo the segment report, eliminate the allocation cost, allocation of common fixed expense. You already done it. Now would the firm be better off financially if the family law segment had dropped? So আমাদেরকে এখন comments করতে হবে. You have to give a comments that whether the if we drop family law segment, will company financially benefited হবে কি? So here you see, if we drop the family law segment, see, will actually there will be no 4 lakh revenue, there will be no margin of 20,000. Okay, in that case, still we have to pay the common fixed expense 60,000. Whether you keep family law or not, still you need to pay common fixed expense. আপনি ফ্যামিলি ল সেগমেন্টে রাখেন বা না রাখেন, আপনাকে কিন্তু কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা ইউ হ্যাভ টু পে, আপনাকে পে করতে হবে। অর্থাৎ ফ্যামিলি ল যদি থাকে তাও আপনাকে কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স 60,000 টাকা আপনাকে ডিডাক্ট করে দেখাতে হবে। আর ফ্যামিলি ল সেগমেন্ট যদি নাও থাকে তাও আপনাকে কিন্তু কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা ডিডাক্ট করে দেখাতে হবে। তাহলে দেখেন, if there is no family law segment, in that case your margin will be 1 lakh 10. Instead of 1 lakh 10,000, it will be 90,000 because this 20,000 taka would not be generated. That will be only the commercial loss income, only 90,000 taka. And you will deduct common fixed expense from 90,000 taka, and after deduction your net operating income will be 30,000 taka. So instead of 50,000 taka, your net operating income will be decreased by 20,000 taka. So that's why if you drop family law segment, in that case you will not be financially benefited. You will actually lose 20,000 taka net operating income that would be generated from the family law. যেটা ফ্যামিলি ল থেকে জেনারেটেড হবে সেই 20,000 টাকা আপনি কিন্তু হারাবেন। So that's why you not recommend that family law segment will be actually dropped. Family law drop হবার ব্যাপারে আপনি কিন্তু কোনো রিকমেন্ডেশন।
Sir,
Yes,
you said if it is no family law,
yes.
then net operating income will be 20,000. How?
If there is no family law, in that case your commercial loss income will be the main margin, right? 90,000 taka will be the margin. If there is no family law, see, so this is not a column. Okay, so see, I did. Okay, in that case you have your only commercial law, right?
Yes.
You have your only commercial law. Right now you see how much you have a margin of 90,000 taka, right? Margin of
90,000.
taka. Now still you need to pay the common fixed expense. Common fixed expense is 60,000 taka. See, 60,000 taka common fixed expense. So after deduction it will be how much? The net operating income will be 30,000. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So if there is no family law segment, then in that case you will actually lost 20,000 taka net operating income.
So, sir, these particulars, all of them, they are from the question. Only you give the question, then we will come here.
What? I
This
don't understand.
particular, yes, sir. I said this is the how we calculate this, and revenue from client, then less
Yes,
from
this
value.
revenue, this will be given on your question. Okay,
Okay.
this information will be given on your question. Okay, now what will be your comments? Your comments will be,
স্যার
yes,
স্যার এখানে টোটালটা স্যার এখানে আছে 1,10,000 বলে কি আমরা এখানে কমন ফিক্সড কস্ট 60,000 মাইনাস করলাম, না থাকলে কমার্শিয়াল ল থেকে মাইনাস করতাম।
কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স হচ্ছে এমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স যেটা কোনো সেগমেন্ট থাক বা না থাক আপনাকে পে করতে হবে। অর্থাৎ আপনার ফ্যামিলি ল থাকুক বা কমার্শিয়াল ল থাকুক অথবা দুইটা সেগমেন্টই থাকুক, আপনাকে এই কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স 60,000 টাকে ইউ মাস্ট পে, আপনাকে পে করতেই হবে, সেটাকে আমরা বলছি কমন ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স। তাহলে এখন ফ্যামিলি ল যদি না থাকে তাহলে কমার্শিয়াল ল এর ইনকামটাই তো আমাদের মূল ইনকাম হবে, তাই না? সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের 90,000 থেকে 60,000 মাইনাস করলে হয়ে যাবে 30,000 টাকা। ওকে, এখানে যে ফ্যামিলি ল থেকে আমরা নেট অপারেটিং ইনকাম হিসেবে যে 20,000 টাকা যে মার্জিনটা আমরা পাচ্ছি সেটা কিন্তু আর অ্যাড হতো না, সেটা আমরা হারায় ফেলতাম। ওকে, ক্লিয়ার? বুঝতে পেরেছেন?
Yes, sir.
So we'll now give a comment that will not drop the family law. Okay, so the answer will be no. The farm would not be financially better off. If the family law practice were dropped. Okay, so আমরা এক লাইনে আনসারটা দিয়ে দিলাম। Okay, hopefully you are clear. Requirement 1 clear সবাই? Now we'll go to the requirement number 2. Requirement number 2. Okay, now see question number 2, requirement number 2. They say they will take a advertisement campaign, and through this campaign they can generate 1 lakh টাকা revenue. তারা 1 লক্ষ টাকা revenue generate করতে পারবে। Okay, revenue generate করতে পারবে 1 লক্ষ টাকা, but they have a cost of 20,000 টাকা, so they will have a cost of 20,000 টাকা. Now if these changes happen, whether the company will be benefited in family law, in segment wise, and also in total. In total, তারা benefited হবে কিনা, we have to give a comments. Comments. Okay, now we actually give a comments by using the CBP analysis. CBP analysis, you know, in case of the CBP analysis, we use the contribution margin ratio. How you calculate the contribution margin ratio? That is the sales contribution margin divided by sales. So here you see, in case of a family law segment, our contribution margin is 3 lakh, 3 lakh by 4 lakh. That is our contribution margin. That is our contribution margin ratio. Now we'll multiply that contribution margin ratio with the new sales increase. Then we can get easily what will be the contribution margin with this sales increase. Okay, and from that contribution margin, we directly deduct this fixed cost, this is traceable fixed expense. So this 20,000 will be deducted, and after that, whatever you will get, we call them as a increase in the segment margin. We আমাদের segment margin income বাড়বে। Okay, so basically আমরা কি করব, প্রথমত we use a contribution margin ratio. Contribution margin ratio use করে আমরা সেটা সেলস এর উপর অ্যাপ্লাই করে কন্ট্রিবিউশন মার্জিনটা কত সেটা আমরা বের করব। দেন ওই কন্ট্রিবিউশন মার্জিন থেকে উইল ডিডাক্ট দ্য ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্স, আমরা ফিক্সড এক্সপেন্সটা ডিডাক্ট করে দেব। তারপর ডিডাক্ট করে দেওয়ার পরেই উইল গেট দ্য সেগমেন্ট মার্জিনটা আমরা পেয়ে যাব। সো লেটস ডু ইট। ওকে, আমরা তাহলে এখানে দেখি হচ্ছে ফ্যামিলি ল। দিস ইজ ফ্যামিলি ল। Segmented income statement. তো আমরা এখন দেখেন কি করি। Okay, so increase in revenue, increase in revenue. So here you see, they said that if they actually incurred a advertisement campaign, okay, then they can generate 1 lakh taka revenue. So 1 lakh taka right here, 1 lakh taka. Okay, now we from this revenue we have to calculate the contribution margin. We have to calculate the contribution margin. So here variable expense is not given, but we have a income statement. Earlier we have a income statement. So from here we'll actually use the contribution margin ratio. Okay. So I think you already know how we calculate the contribution margin ratio. Contribution margin divided by sales. So here you see in family law, contribution margin is 3 lakh and sales is 4 lakh. So our contribution margin ratio will be 3 lakh divided by 4 lakh. So here is right. Family law contribution margin 3 lakh divided by 4 lakh. So 3 lakh divided by 4 lakh, it is how much? দেখেন আমরা এখানে করে ফেলি, equal to 3 lakh
0.75.
divided by 4 lakh. That means 0.75. Okay. So we'll get the contribution margin here. Contribution margin directly apply the contribution margin. So here you see, if we apply contribution margin, so that means here our contribution margin is 75,000 and we have a fixed advertisement expense that is traceable, that is specifically for the family law segment and specifically for this one. So that's why we can write it as a traceable fixed expense. Traceable fixed expense. So traceable fixed expense here it is 20,000. So 20,000 we write here. 20,000 and that will be the increase in segment margin. Increase in right here segment margin. Okay, so that means if we have a ad campaign for the family law segment, then in that case, there will be an increase in segment margin of 55,000 in segment, and also in total, it will increase the net operating income 55,000. 55,000 the net operating income is good. Okay, so your question already said that there is no other fixed expense. There is nothing like that. There is no other common or there is no other traceable or any other fixed expense. This is the only expense. So that's why in total, the change, this will change 55,000 taka net income. Clear? সবাই কি ক্লিয়ার এটা?
জি স্যার, একটু ক্লিয়ার হয়েছে, আরেকটা করলে আর ভালো করে হবে স্যার।
আচ্ছা, কোশ্চেনটা একটু
কোশ্চেনটা হচ্ছে ওকে, সো আমাদেরকে বের করতে বলছি estimate the effect this ad campaign would have on the family law segment margin and on the firm's overall operating। অর্থাৎ এই অ্যাড ক্যাম্পেইনের ফলে আমাদের সেগমেন্ট এবং ইন টোটাল আমাদের কোনো চেঞ্জ হবে কিনা সেটা আমাদেরকে কনভিন্স করতে হবে। সো देयर इज a change of 55,000 টাকা you already shown there। আমরা সেটা দেখাইছি। রাইট নাও উইল গো টু দ্য অ্যানাদার ম্যাথ। আমরা আরেকটা ম্যাথে চলে যাব।
স্যার এটা কয় নাম্বার পেজে ছিল স্যার?
এটা রিভিউ প্রবলেম, হ্যাঁ এটা আপনাদের বইয়ের রিভিউ প্রবলেম চ্যাপ্টার 12 ভ্যারিয়েশনের বুক রিভিউ প্রবলেম 1।
Sir,
Yes,
the requirement 2. They have the
we have a magnetic imaging division of medical diagnostic Inc. has reported the following result for last years of operation. Sales is 25 million, net operating income is 3 million, average operating asset is 10 million. Okay. Now you have to compute the magnetic imaging division margin, turnover, and ROI. Margin, turnover, and ROI. Okay, we have a key formula here. Margin. So you know the margin formula. Margin formula is net operating income divided by sales. So net operating income is given 3 million, and sales is 25 million. So 3 by 25. That would be the margin. Okay. The next one is the turnover. Turnover formula is sales divided average operating assets. So sales is 25 million sales divided by average operating asset is 10. So 25 divided by 10, the turnover may be 2.5. Okay. And ROI, you will just multiply margin into turnover. Margin into turnover, then you will get the ROI. The next one is the number 2, residual income. Residual income formula, you know, net operating income minus average operating asset multiplied by required rate of return. So here required rate of return is 25%, and average operating asset is 10 lakh, 10 million, 10 million into 25%. Okay, then it will be deducted from the net operating asset, net operating income. Then after that, if there is anything that is recorded as a residual income. So let's do it. So this is review problem 2. So our first requirement is margin. We have to calculate the margin. Margin. So margin formula is what? Margin formula we already discussed.
net operating income divided by sales.
Net operating income divided by sales. Right? Net net operating income divided by
Sales.
equally. So net operating income divided by sales. আমাদের কি আসে দেখেন, আমাদের নেট অপারেটিং ইনকাম কত দেওয়া আছে এখানে? How much is given as a net operating income? Net operating income is given how much? 3 million, right? Right here, 3 million. And sales is given how much? Sales. Sales is 25 million, right? Sales is 25 million. Yes. 25 million, right? ঠিক আছে না? সবাই কি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
জি স্যার।
So it's how much? Margin equal to
0.12.
So 0.012.
margin equal to 0.12. Okay, margin equal to 0.1. Now next one we have to calculate the turnover. The same way we'll calculate the turnover. You know the turnover formula, that is sales sales divided by average operating asset. Here you see our sales is how much? Sales is 25 million, right? Sales is 25 million. So we write here 25 billion. And average operating asset is how much?
10
Average
million.
10 million.
10 billion. So 10 million. Now see how much is the turnover?
2.5, sir.
2.5. Two point five is our turnover. Okay. Now our next requirement is the ROI. ROI, return on investment, ROI. Second, easily, we already calculated the net operating income. We already calculated the margin and the turnover. We can directly just multiply the margin into turnover. Or either way, you can write directly the formula. Like you write here the formula, and it is multiplied by this one. Multiply by this one, and you will get here, that is ROI equal to 0.12 multiplied by 2.5. So that means it is 30%. Okay, 0.3 or 30%. 30% is our ROI here. That is our requirement number 1. Clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now the next requirement, second requirement is, in this math, second requirement is top management of medical diagnostic has set a minimum required rate of return on average operating asset is 25%. What will be the imaging division residual income for the year? আমাদেরকে residual income বের করতে হবে। The requirement 2. Requirement 2 will write here average operating assets. First of all, you can write directly net operating income, but first of all, we'll write the required rate of return and everything. And so first of all, we can write directly net operating income. Net operating income. Net operating income. Net operating income is how much? 3 million, I think. 3 million. 3 million means 30 lakh. Million is 30 lakh. Okay. Then here minimum required return is given 25%. Okay. So write like this way. Then write average operating asset. Average operating asset. Average operating asset is how much? Average operating asset is 10 million. 10 million. Okay. 10 million. $10 million, and the minimum required return is minimum required return. It's 25%. So we will calculate from here. 25% is given on your question. Minimum required return is 25%. Okay, so it is given. So if you apply 25%, then we'll get here the amount. Okay, so format So that means your minimum return will be 25 lakh and your net operating income is the 30 lakh. Now this 25 lakh taka will be deducted from this 30 lakh. So after that you will get here the amount is so that means our residual income is 5 lakh. This time you are আপনারা চাইলে এভাবে করতে পারেন অথবা সোজা হরিজন্টালি লিখেও করতে পারেন whatever. The residual income will be 5 lakh. Is it clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they have shown that fixed expense is 6,25,000. So here traceable fixed cost is total 5,35,000. So that means rest of the amount we call it as a common fixed expense. So 6,35,000 minus 6,25,000. 6,25,000 minus 5,35,000. So that means 90,000 is our common fixed expense. Now, if we did a common fixed expense, then we will have a overall NOI. Overall NOI is how much? Minus 15,000. So there is a loss of 15,000. So that is the requirement number 1. Now you have to show what number 2. As a result of marketing study, the president believed that sales in the OS division could be increased by 20% if monthly advertising in that division are increased by 15%. Okay, tahole, so see here, their cost will increase by 15,000. So this is traceable fixed expense. Traceable fixed expense will increase 15,000, and with this traceable fixed expense, they will have a increase in sales. Increase in sales will be 20%. Increase in sales হবে কত percent? 20%. So এখানে যে OS department, we are talking about the OS department. So OS department is 3,50,000. OS department actual sales is 3,50,000. So it will increase by 20%. So আগের ম্যাথে যেটা আমরা দেখেছি যে
স্যার এটা কি
revenue increase by 1 lakh যেটা আমরা দেখেছি আগের ম্যাথে, এখানে কি বলছে, এখানে ডিরেক্টলি বলছে যে sales will increase by 20%. So we'll calculate 20% on the OS এর উপর 20%, যেহেতু OS বলে দিচ্ছে OS division 20% on 3,50,000 যত হয় তত, সেখান থেকে you will deduct the variable expense. So you know variable expense is given as a percentage, so you deduct 40%. Then after that you will deduct the traceable fixed expense 15,000. Then after that, if you find any net operating income, then that means you recommend the president to continue this type of marketing study or continue this type of increasing advertising program. Okay, so in advertising strategy আপনি actually সাজেস্ট করবেন। সো দেখেন আপনি কি করবেন, কম্পিটিশনটা কিভাবে দেখাবেন, এটা হচ্ছে রিকোয়ারমেন্ট নাম্বার 2। আমরা একটাকে দেখিয়ে দিচ্ছি। প্রথমে লিখবেন ইনক্রিমেন্টাল সেলস। ইনক্রিমেন্টাল সেলস, incremental sales. Incremental sales is how much? 3,50,000 into 20%. 20% বেড়ে যাবে এরকম একটা কথা বলছে আমাদের। ওকে, সো জিনিসটা হচ্ছে এটা 3,50,000 into 20%.
Sir, 70,000.
70,000. Now from here we'll deduct the variable expense. Variable expense is how much? 40%, right? Variable expense কত ছিল OS-এর? 40%. 40% of the sales, so that means into 40%, 28,000. So if we deduct 28,000, then we'll get the contribution margin. So here we get the contribution margin. Contribution margin will be how much? 42,000. Now less traceable fixed expense. Traceable fixed expense. এখানে আমাদের বলেই দিছে যে আমরা যদি অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট ক্যাম্পেইনটা রান করি, we have to incur 15,000. 15,000 টাকা আমাদেরকে incur করতে হবে। 15,000 টাকা incur করলে আমাদের কি হচ্ছে দেখেন, 15,000 টাকা আমাদেরকে ডিডাক্ট করে কাটতে হবে। 15,000. So after that,
স্যার ভেরিয়েবল কস্টটা কি স্যার এটার উপরে 40% দিব স্যার?
কোনটার উপর?
স্যার 28,000 যেটা আসছে স্যার, এটা কি স্যার এই যে
28,000,
আমরা
এটা 70% এর সেলস এর উপর অ্যাপ্লাই হবে। সেলস এর উপর 70,000 into 40%.
ওকে স্যার, স্যার আমি এটাই বলছিলাম।
So here is the net NOI or segment margin. এখানে segment margin এ রাখেন because segment margin will be 42,000 minus 15,000, that means 27,000. So if you take the advertisement campaign, then there will be a change in 27,000 taka. 27,000 taka আমাদের segment margin এ add হবে. So that's why we recommend the president to take this type of advertisement. Clear? Are you clear, all of you?